Well, here we are. Here we are. Alright, we've made it. And the fireworks are saying it's time to go. To the top left-hand side, we just Shachi casted his teammate taking down the Muslim, and he will look to face his teammate in the qualifying match if he is able to advance through this series. The red Zerg, top left. This, from Clash, is Lambo. He's going up against the blue Zerg player, bottom right, from Gamers Origin, Stephano. We know who he is. We know who Lambo is. Top 4, Austin. Disappointing performance in Valencia, though. Out before he even reached Group Stage 3. Not what Lambo was expecting. His BlizzCon dreams taking a big hit after such huge success just a month prior in Austin. Wardy the Passion Lord says Wush J with the Cheer 200. Thank you so much for the bits, dude. Really do appreciate it. See some love in the chat for Wush J as well, guys. Some Schwick as well, saying Wardy OP, Wardy OP. A couple of you guys saying you hit that follow button too. Love it, love it. Welcome Adulco, welcome Dodd Blitz to the Wardy follow and fam. Some Rift blushes in the chat as well. It's a beautiful day. It's a beautiful day. Alright then, we do have the ZvZ underway. And we saw a little bit of that ZvZ between Stephano and Crow. Gave us a good idea as to maybe what to expect from Stephano going into this next ZvZ right now. Stephano was playing a lot of the just very standard roaches, but once he gets into the roach mid-game and so on, he does really seem to love playing out a style where he actually gets Roach Burrow, tunneling claws, and he tries to harass rather than going straight up towards lurkers, which is something that other people generally try to go for a little bit more quickly. So, as we do see, this Overlord heading towards the bottom right and Overlords to the top left. We'll see if the game gets towards roaches, because obviously there is that opportunity for players to switch things up before then. I'd like to say that Lambo's ZvZ is pretty terrifying as well. I mean, if you think back to Austin when he had that top 4 finish, he did really put up one hell of a fight against Cyril. And so I have to say that Lambo's ZvZ then looked great, but again, yesterday he fell down to ZvZ, and obviously that's not, you know, that doesn't fill me with confidence, but he was tweeting out last night about how he had to play so late. He never usually has to play so late, so obviously that is a little bit unfortunate for him. And hopefully his ZvZ is a bit more on point today, because I really do feel like Lambo is one of these foreigners, one of our European players, who really can deliver, who really can show us some absolutely spectacular StarCraft 2 play when he's playing his best game. So far these builds are not quite mirrored, there is differences. Again, I mean, a Queen a little bit slower here from Lambo in terms of Queen number 2. Third Queen starts up at the same time. Lambo's also slightly faster on the Ling speed, but the third Hatcher came down at the exact same time, and I imagine Lambo's Baneler Nest is not going to be too far off if he goes for it, though. We do see this Extractor currently just manning with one worker, so Baneler Nest is possible, but it's not a guaranteed. It's not a guaranteed something to be taken just yet, right? Because if you only mine with one gas, you don't actually have that much income for the actual Bane lane, so he might just go Ling only initially, maybe add the Baneler Nest later, and there it is actually coming on right now. So not maybe as much later as I was perhaps thinking about suggesting that it would be, but still a bit later than Stephano's. And we'll see if he gets much out of this. He is down 8 workers, so he definitely has the Ling advantage initially, and he is going to go in to try and grab this third hatchery right here. So coming forwards, a couple of Lings from Stephano coming in as well. We'll be able to get one Ling kill before Lambo reacts. More damage onto the third hatch, and again, Lambo behind this. He's obviously looking to drone up and play catch-up in that work count, as you will see a couple of Banelings coming in. Those fireworks not looking to be the only explosions in this game so far. Ling's coming up to the top. We do see, of course, Lambo's third hatch is going to start saturating now. He has a few more workers in production. Still feels like Stephano just a little bit ahead. Made his initial set of Lings a little bit later. Didn't really take any damage from this attack. And obviously that helps him out a whole bunch. As we do see those couple of Lings going to get grabbed. Stephano just cleaning up. Stephano with the slight edge here so far. Lambo going to be a little bit more forward with going in towards this lair, the Rotron and the Evolution Chamber. Although actually Stephano already with the Evo Chamber down. This is what we saw against Crow. Evo Chamber coming down nice and quickly. As the Evo Chamber comes down nice and quickly, he then was pretty, you know, quick to get the Rotron afterwards. But he always had that +1 going so soon here, which is exactly what we're starting to see right now. Well, I mean, a faster lair from Lambo will give him the roach speed, which maybe opens up more aggressive opportunities for our German Zerg player in this series. Said Vocal Athlete 95, thank you so much for the cheer 15 in the chat. Appreciate the bits. Thank you very much. Overlord continuing down towards the bottom right hand side here. As we do see a few more of these Zerglings just wandering around, keeping presence on the map. I mean, we passed that Ling Bane phase really now. These things are not going to do much more. The most they could probably hope for is diving a mineral line and getting a handful of drones. Just as Roach is aren't quite in position or so, as units move out perhaps. But we really are past the phase of this game where Ling Bane is going to be super influential, and that's why we're probably not going to see any more in the production tab either. And right now Lambo still doesn't quite find an opening with these, and so he will just back away up the right side for another few moments. Roaches are working their way through this set of rocks over here at the moment, so making his way through these rocks and going to get a chance to attack down to the south. Fourth base of Stephano is currently on the way up. He'll be under a little bit of pressure. Lambo's fourth base is getting ready to be taken as well. Obviously, again, at this stage of the game, there's been some divergences. There is that pneumatized carapace. So again, you can see, again, like, I know we went on a bit of a rant about this before. I promise this one won't be as long. It's still earlier than, Lambo thinks about a pneumatized carapace. And I wonder if he's just afraid of needing it to be able to save some overlords from these Ravagers. I mean, it is a similar time test when he got it against Crow, so it seems to be something that's just part of his build, something he gets at this stage of the game. We do have this Overseer into the main base, taking a few shots from this Queen, so a little bit of damage being dealt here. Plus one upgrade is going to be finishing up for one moment, and Stephano just going to ask for a second, apparently. Obviously, we will give him his second. We're not going to force him to keep playing if he needs a break. Looks as though we're going to get resumed here pretty much immediately, though, so actually barely any downtime at all. Looks as though we're just going to go straight into this.
Game resumed.
So, I was about to come over here, which is where the physical fight's starting up. Lambo is actually without +1 at the moment, so this fight isn't great for him. He does have an army supply lead, though, so looks as though he's just gotten a few more units down, and now he's getting on top of the Ravagers, and wow, Lambo, what a time. Finally his +1 kicks in as well, so no longer at that disadvantage, despite having it for the first little while. Just the fact he got rid of those Ravagers, suddenly Stephano lost a lot of gas invested into those. Well, he's keeping his own Ravagers alive as well, repositioned them towards the back of the army based on where the reinforcements of Stephano keep coming in, and Stephano is just running out of units. I mean, this is the difference. Stephano built pneumatized carapace. Stephano started +2 missiles. These are all upgrades which have not really influenced this game yet, and of course, means that he hasn't had as much resources to put into pure Roach production, giving Lambo just that slight edge, and that's ZvZ. That's the difference just one upgrade invested into can make. Because again, sure, 3 minutes from now, or a minute from now, Stephano has +2 and he has better units on the map because of that +2. But you have to survive until then, and in this scenario, he's just not going to be able to. Lambo takes game number 1, and he will take the lead. And again, that's why I mean his, not TV, ZvZ, which we've been talking about over here. What's up, Mellow Yellow coming in with the cheer 52 says, don't mind me just rounding out my bits. You know, dude, round out as much as you want. I'm not going to complain. All the bits add up. Very, very much for the 52 bits, as we have to the bottom right-hand side. Up a game looking lethal in the ZvZ so far. Our red Zerg player from Clash is Lambo. Top left, the blue Zerg player from Gamers Origin, Stephano. And he does open with the 12 pool, so already a very different approach to game number 2. It's a 12 pool, that means it's going to be very aggressive, lots of lings very early in the game. So going to get set up and see if you can take an advantage with this here on Dreamcatcher. Now generally you're going to take an expansion behind this as Stephano, so you're still going to get a hatchery. And in general you're going to be looking to try and force drones to the low ground, get at least 4 to 5 kills. And just try and slow down mine, because if you just get 4 or 5 kills and even up the worker count, you will have stopped mining from your opponent too, so it actually does sort of even out the game. And if you kill a hatchery, you generally come out into a lead because you have your own hatchery already on the way up. Hatch drops down there. The first 6lings starting to make their way down to the bottom right-hand side of the map. 4 more Zerglings in production still. He's going up to 10, probably I'd say 12 to 14, the max where you want to go with a 12 pool. After that, unless it's really going well for you, that's the point where you probably want to start adding a couple of drones back on, getting that saturation going, so you can maximize your own economy, while also hopefully dealing some damage to your opponents. Lings come in and they are going to be able to start working their way through this natural. So again, the idea here being that you want to force drones down to the low ground into the open space where the Lings can get full surrounds rather than allowing the drones to get easy surrounds in a mineral line. You know, you could just run up this ramp and into the mineral line, but then the drones have mineral patches to mineral walk with. It becomes very difficult to fight drones there. Here you go, as we do see Lambo actually mineral walks to the other side here now. This is not good already. I think he's losing a lot of mining time without gaining much. Loses his first couple of Zerglings. Now a few more Lings come down. Obviously still has to fight with the drones. Would love to see him just pull this one very damaged drone back. Make that very easy pick off for Stephano. Just kind of disappear. 2 drones die. Stephano keeping the Lings alive is fantastic. He did take a Ling speed behind this. So actually I was talking about maybe droning up. Maybe getting into more Ling. Maybe getting towards a better economy. He's actually just going to go completely all in with this. He did take a gas. He is now making Lings with Ling speed. And he pulled out a gas completely at 100. So it's just for Ling speed. And he's going to stack these Lings up. He's going to come across the map with speed. Make a bit of a surprise for Lambo. He probably thinks right now like, hey, I held him pretty well. 2 drones. Hatchery still alive. All good. But is it really all good when he has a whole bunch more Lings flooding into his mineral line when he's already producing extra drones? Probably not. Not looking pretty at the moment. Ling's just going to sit up on the high ground, and we are going to be seeing these few Lings on the bottom of the ramp getting set up. Oh, look at this. This is so cheeky. These Lings of Lambo arrive too late to really see what's going on, but he sees no saturation. That's actually huge information for him. You'll see a lack of saturation in the main, but I don't think he's paying attention because Lings have dove his main. The rest of the Lings come into the natural. I mean, this is at least a dead hatchery. Oh, Lambo is in a bit of trouble right now. He's going to try and wall off here. He's up by 16 drones. He is starting to fight on the low ground. Queen's here as well. He'll lose the hatchery. And he's up 16 drones now. A lot of them are not really going to be able to add much on because he's going to be oversaturated. He can use them to fight, I guess, at least in the main. He will get around these Lings, cleaning them up very effectively. Should get back to mining Lambo. He needs to make sure he does so here. He needs to get another hatchery going unless he just... he doesn't have the gas for a Baneling nest. So he has to start up another hatchery. Still though, I mean, even though he's oversaturated, he still has a good amount of Lings here. Stephano already going back into gas, however. I mean, Lambo should too. It's interesting because, yes, Stephano has the hatchery, but Lambo has more workers. And even though, again, I guess I should talk about how saturation works because it's one of these times where it really does matter. Even though Lambo is 21/16, you still get more minerals per second for having extra drones on each mineral patch, past 2 workers per mineral patch. It diminishes as it goes higher, up to 24, where it's literally 0 effect, but it's still a little bit better than what Stephano's mining right now. Stephano taking a lot of damage across the map as well. He already lost a Queen, losing drones now too. Queen's trying to defend over here as Lambo is up by, well, now he's up by 20 workers. All he has to do is hold on against these Zerglings. He's got 8 more on the way. Drones can afford to pull in here as well, knowing that he can just hold on and just, well, I mean, again, he can lose 20 workers. Well, not 20, but he can lose 15 workers, and he's still in a good position. This is great. If Lambo comes down and saves the hatchery as well, he's already got the advantage on a little bit of the Ling HP. Drones coming in here too. The Ling count in Stephano's favor, but again, Lambo can afford to pull the drones in, and he will do that, and he is going to start pushing Stephano back. Hatchery still being kept alive. 13 worker advantage. That small Ling counterattack from Lambo has been absolutely game-changing, as we do see him coming down the low ground. Now he can fight on the low ground with the drones because he can just send them back to mining on the low ground more easily. Very nicely done. Really nicely done. Even if Stephano picks off another couple of drones here, I mean 5 to 17 workers, that's a triple economy advantage that Lambo currently holds. Yes, those Lings have been annoying, he loses another drone, but it's just damage that's being done so slowly. Lambo's got a Queen up again. Stephano can't afford that. He's still making Lings, he knows he's all in with this. Absolutely and thoroughly. And I kind of want to show you guys DNSR, but I don't think it's actually worth watching. As, well, I guess now we can. Lambo takes it to the 0. He advances to the qualifying match.